Have you ever stepped into a place so unsettling, so impossibly wrong, that it felt like the walls were alive and watching? That's what happened to me, Mike, and Emma, when we dared to enter the house that locals whispered about in hushed tones. The house with the endless hallway. We were self-proclaimed adventurers of the paranormal, the trio who'd swap ghost stories over campfires and drive hours to abandoned mansions. Our latest obsession was an old Victorian house perched on the edge of a fog-covered hill in the middle of nowhere. Mike had found it in an obscure Reddit thread where someone swore the house was cursed and Emma couldn't resist a mystery. Neither could I. When we arrived, the house loomed against the gray sky, its windows like hollow eyes and the paint peeling off in long strips like decaying flesh. A weathered sign dangled from a rusted chain. "Keep out," Mike snorted. Well, that's practically an invitation. We pushed open the heavy oak door, its creak slicing through the silence like a scream. Inside, the air was cold and stale, carrying the faint metallic tang of rust or maybe blood. The hallway stretched in front of us, impossibly long, lined with doorways that seemed to recede into shadows no matter how much light spilled in. "Creepy as hell," Emma muttered, clutching her flashlight like a weapon. "Let's make this quick." As we ventured further, the hallway seemed to stretch longer with every step. Each door we tried was locked, the knobs ice cold. The deeper we went, the stranger it became. The wallpaper, once floral, seemed to twist and shift like it was breathing. A faint hum grew louder, a sound just on the edge of comprehension, like a chorus of whispers. "Mike, stop humming," I said. He stopped dead in his tracks. "That's not me." The three of us froze. The hum morphed into a low growl, then stopped abruptly. We looked at each other, trying to laugh it off, but fear glimmered in our eyes. "Maybe it's the wind," Emma said, though her voice shook. "Wind doesn't sound like it's coming from inside your skull," Mike muttered. We pressed on. The hallway stretched endlessly, the front door now a distant memory. I glanced at my phone for the time, but the screen was blank. Emma's and Mike's were dead too. "Okay, seriously, what the hell is this place?" Emma asked. "It's probably a trick," Mike said. "Optical illusion or something. Just keep moving." But the air thickened, pressing against us like a physical weight. The locked doors began to shake as we passed them, rattling violently, as if something on the other side wanted out. Mike grabbed my arm. "Tell me you saw that." "What?" "The mirror." He pointed to an antique mirror hanging crookedly on the wall. At first glance, it seemed normal, but then I saw it. Our reflections weren't quite right. In the glass, we were smiling, wide and unnatural. And in the background, something dark and misshapen loomed behind us. Emma screamed, "Let's go back, now!" We turned, but the hallway had changed. It was no longer straight, but twisted, the walls narrowing like a throat about to swallow us. Panic surged and we ran. The faster we moved, the louder the whispers grew, turning into a cacophony of laughter, crying, and unearthly growls. We stopped when we reached a door that was slightly ajar. Unlike the others, it wasn't locked. Against every instinct, we pushed it open and stepped inside. The room was empty except for a single table with a candle and an old leather-bound book. "This feels like a trap," Emma whispered. Mike, ever the brave idiot, reached for the book. The moment his fingers brushed the cover, the door slammed shut, plunging us into darkness. The whispers turned into screams, and the floor beneath us trembled. I fumbled for my flashlight, but when I turned it on, the beam revealed something that made my blood run cold. The hallway was back, but this time, it was lined with mirrors, and in each one we saw ourselves. Older versions, decayed, dead. My reflection grinned at me, its hollow eyes burning into mine. "You shouldn't have come here," it whispered. Emma's scream snapped me back to reality. The book on the table was now open, its pages flipping wildly as if caught in a storm. Words began to appear, written in crimson ink that dripped like fresh blood. "Leave while you still can." We didn't need to be told twice. We bolted for the door, but the hallway fought back. The walls closed in, the air turned frigid, and shadowy hands reached out from the mirrors, clawing at us. Emma tripped, and Mike and I yanked her to her feet. Somehow, we made it back to the front door. We threw it open and stumbled out into the night, gasping for air. The house was silent behind us, as if nothing had happened. But when we turned back to look, the house was gone. Only the fog remained, thick and suffocating. We drove away in silence, each of us too shaken to speak. Later, Mike confessed he'd stolen a page from the book, a page he swore wasn't there before. It was blank except for a single sentence. "The hallway always finds you." We burned it, but deep down, I know it doesn't matter. Sometimes in the dead of night, I hear whispers just beyond my bedroom door, and I know and the house is waiting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this bone-chilling tale, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more spine-tingling stories.